Getting in a fight, they attacked me. I was held by the throat, and I believe hair was being pulled. It got broken up. I gathered
Stopping, that's when her hair got pulled. All of our hair was being pulled. She was like a pit bull. And face twice.
That's not what you said.
I said, get out of my face twice. And on that second one, she was coming at me, and I hit her, and it was a lot of contact.
There was no repeated punching. It was, I think, one single punch.
Well, you were struck in the face so many times. I had fainted, actually. So I was checked at the emergency room. I had a CT scan.
Ms. McKibben, these two young ladies were friends of yours.
Yes, they were.
One of you was celebrating a birthday. Who was that?
That was Allison.
It's my birthday.
What birthday, Allison?
It was my 31st birthday.
And how long have you all been friends?
Lily and I have been friends off and on since the 2nd grade. Allison and I have been friends for almost a decade.
Married, single?
I have a boyfriend, but yes.
Married.
Any kids? You're Lily.
Yeah, 4 children.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an area manager at a delivery station in Oregon.
Must be busy.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I manage around 100 to 120 people a day.
And what about you, Lily? Do you work outside the home?
Not currently, no.
Not with 4 kids?
Right, yeah. I stay at home. Yeah, they keep
Keeps
me
you
busy.
Allison, what about you?
I work at an oral surgery office. I'm an office manager.
Married, single?
Married, no children.
So you have 3 smart, employed women celebrating a birthday who all had too much to drink.
Unfortunately.
But it resulted in a very unpleasant weekend where you allege that you were assaulted by these 2 women, which required substantial medical treatment for you involving one of your eyes.
Yep.
When was your birthday?
April 24th, but the night of the incident was May 6th, 2023.
And you got an Airbnb?
Yes.
Where? Who arranged it?
Whitney did at Rockaway Beach.
How many women went, Whitney?
It was myself, the 2 on this side, or 3 on this side, and then also another woman named Grace. She's not here today. So I believe there was 5 in total.
And you got there on May 6th?
May 5th, we got there.
5th?
Yes.
At what time?
I had arrived to Tillamook in around 12:30. I sat on the beach by myself and waited for the rest of the party.
In what state?
Tillamook, Oregon.
When you went and sat on the beach alone on the 5th, were you drinking?
Nope.
No. What time did your friends arrive?
I believe around 3. Allison and my sister arrived together in the same vehicle.
Who is that? Is that your sister?
Yeah, she is their witness. Lovely.
What's your sister's name?
Her name is Ashley.
Okay, so now tell me what happened. The incident happened on the 5th?
So it happened on the 5th into the 6th.
6th.
Correct. So we had been drinking.
When did you start drinking?
I believe we started drinking around 4 or 5. We had a few on the beach, and then we went to the Airbnb, which was like a block away. We ended up drinking more in the Airbnb, got...
What were you drinking?
Tequila. Yeah, exactly.
And what about you?
I arrived late, around 7:30. At the time I had arrived, the tequila bottle was already gone, and...
So you didn't arrive until 7:30?
That's correct.
By the time 7:30 rolled around, everybody was pretty smashed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So we had been sitting in the hot tub. There was a hot tub there, so we had all just been sitting, talking, having fun. While in the hot tub, there was a discussion to go to a local bar to have another shot of tequila. Don't know why we needed that, but we all agreed that we would do it.
Okay, so you decided to go to a local bar. What time did you leave?
So I didn't actually end up leaving with them. Like I said, we were in the hot tub. We all decided to go to the bar. They had gotten out of the hot tub first to go shower off and get dressed and ready. So I waited till they were out of the shower. I took a shower myself, came out to the living room where they all were standing, Allison, Lily, my sister, and Grace. I had a towel around me, still dripping wet, just got out of the shower. They were all ready to go. They're like, come on, let's leave. I am dripping wet and naked, like, give me a moment to get dressed. I attempted to look through my bag to get clothing out. Wasn't really able to do that since I was inebriated. I had Grace help me get clothing out. She was actually holding, I don't remember if it was underwear or pants that she was holding for me, but like, you know, like a toddler, like, here, get in. At that point, Allison and Lily started berating me, saying, oh, look how pathetic you are. You can't even dress yourself. You are a child, things like that. So to that point, I got upset. I started yelling hurtful things back at them. Don't remember exactly what I said, but I know that it was enough to make them very upset with me. Ended up getting in a fight. They attacked me. I was held by the throat, and I believe hair was being pulled. It got broken up. I gathered my things. I went to the neighbor's house. Allison, Lily, Grace, and Ashley all went to the local bar. My plan was to sober up at the neighbor's house and leave for the night. I did not want to be there any longer. I did not feel safe.
How did you know the neighbor if this was an Airbnb?
So this was just somebody that was also there. The next door house was an Airbnb as well that was being rented out for the night or the weekend. So the neighbors, when we were in the hot tub, they were outside of their house, like smoking a cigarette or something, and we had an interaction and we were hanging out with them. So that's how I kind of knew them and that they were there. So I just went in and knocked on the door and I said, hey, like my friends and I just got in a fight. I don't feel safe over there. Can I hang out with you guys for a few hours until I'm sober enough to drive myself home? To which they agreed, and we, you know, hung out. About an hour into us hanging out, we heard faint screaming outside of the door, which was Allison yelling, Whitney, I know you're in there. You need to come out. At first, I told the neighbors, because they asked me, do you want me to open?
These neighbors, men or women?
There were, it could be 2 or 3 men and 1 woman, but they...
How old were the men?
I would say probably in their late 30s.
You didn't know anything about them before this weekend?
I did not, no.
And so you felt comfortable going over drunk to strangers' house?
Yes, I felt more comfortable to
than
be...
staying alone in your own Airbnb?
Yes,
Okay,
because
go
I
ahead.
felt they were going to come back and hurt me again, so I wanted to remove myself completely from the situation.
Okay, so you went and hung out with these people for about an hour before Ashley came back.
Correct.
Go ahead.
She continued to scream and yell. They finally opened the door, to which she completely changed her composure and was like, Whitney, please come back. You know, you don't know these people. I told her I don't want to come with you because I don't feel safe. And she said, well, you know, you are intoxicated. What if these people do something to you? And I said, yeah, you are right. You're my friend. I'll come with you. But I don't want anything else to happen. Like, we've fought. It's over. I want nothing else to do with it.
When you were at the neighbor's house, did you have anything to drink?
I had water to drink.
Did they have anything to drink?
I believe they were drinking like seltzer water.
Were they smoking anything?
Cigarettes. They had cigarettes.
You know how long they were there for?
Like the weekend, or
Yeah.
I believe they said they were there just for 2 days. So I believe it was a Saturday that they were there. So
So
Saturday,
that 2 or
Sunday.
3 men and 1 woman.
Correct.
Know anything about them?
I didn't really gather any information about them, which, yeah, very, very odd of me to do. But, you know, like I said, I felt safer.
Whatever. You
Removing.
felt you weren't feeling anything.
I walked into the front door with Allison. I remember stating, I really don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And then I was attacked again by Lily. I was pulled down to the floor by my hair and was held again by the neck and was repeatedly punched in the face and the head until I lost consciousness. When I came back into consciousness, my sister had told me to run because she had ripped them off of me. I ran back to the neighbor's house. I asked them to call the police. The police came. The police offered to take
Police
me.
came, you took an ambulance.
Correct.
Okay, let's put a period there for a minute. Okay, Lily, it's 7:30. You arrive at 7:30. They're already out of the hot tub?
Yeah, so when I arrived, they were not in the hot tub. We all decided to go in it together.
Okay, now pick it up from there.
Okay. We went to the hot tub and spent maybe an hour and a half in there. And then we decided to go celebrate Allison's birthday at a local bar. We went inside. We were getting ourselves ready. And she's correct. As we were about to leave, she's standing there naked. There was no towel around her. And she's screaming that she doesn't want to go. She thinks we're all fake friends. And she wasn't very happy with us at that point. And so us three went into the car to sit and wait while Grace was trying to calm her down. And then it was taking a while. And so I went back in to try and help. And Whitney started really screaming at me, calling us fake friends, bad moms. And I looked at her and I said, I feel sorry for you, Whitney. And that's when she got extremely mad at me and she lunged at me and tried to fight me.
It's like scuffling
And
at
Grace
that
was in the
point.
middle of it. Grace caught a fist in her jaw. And then that's when I think Allison and maybe Ashley at that point, they saw something in the window and they came to help. And Whitney just wasn't stopping. That's when her hair got pulled. All of our hair was being pulled. She was like a pit bull. And finally, we got that to kind of settle down and we left. So we went to the bar at that point. And then I can't tell you exactly what time we returned. I want to say it was before 10 o'clock. It wasn't very late. Ashley looks up Whitney's location. She sees that she's at a stranger's house next door and we're concerned. And
Okay,
Yeah.
stop for a moment. Ashley, tell me what happened with your sister. Let's start with this fight that happened when you were all getting ready to go to the bar and your sister came out of the shower.
So she was, wet, no towel, screaming about how she was naked and didn't want to go. She was also screaming at everybody else that they were fake friends and bad moms and all these things. I got sick of it because everybody was yelling at everybody, so I just left.
Now, then you went to the bar together and then you came back. You tell me, what happened when you came back to the house?
When we came back to the house, I was helping my friend Grace. She was in the bathroom and sick and wasn't
Too much to
feeling
drink.
Yeah, yep, definitely. So I was helping her, and then I heard the second fight break out, and so I went out there and pulled everybody apart from each other and told Whitney to go.
Your sister was injured.
Sent her out and away.
Sent her, where did you send her?
She went to the neighbors.
She went back to the neighbors.
Went back to the neighbors.
And you called the police from the neighbors.
I believe my sister called the police and the neighbors called the police as well.
Tell me why you called the police.
Because I was tired of all of the fighting and they were really hurting each other.
Who started the fight?
I can't tell you who started it because I didn't see who started it, so I don't know.
Aside from your sister, initially, who became aggressive?
Well, I think Lily was angry and Ali was angry, justifiably. I mean, I would be too.
Angry because I didn't want to get more inebriated. Weird.
Okay,
I was perfectly happy to leave you.
you can sit down now for a second. Okay, you want to tell me your version of the events?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. When you drink that much, sometimes you kind of lose the ability to make a good decision. Just kind of escalated, I think, and we were all pretty emotionally charged at that point, just from yelling and it being so loud.
to be frank, I don't think she really remembers.
I have some things that might help you remember if you'd like.
We have
Okay,
a police
let's go
report
back.
also that
I'd like to see the police report.
it's right here.
And here's also a Facebook post that Allison made the night of while they were
just one
sitting
second.
at the bar.
The police report said Lily stated that Whitney kept trying to attack her and pulling her hair. You stated you punched her in the face.
Right.
You say prior to that, there was hair pulling. How was that precipitated?
At the time she got hit, Allison and her were in the kitchen and I was sitting on the couch. And Whitney, something happened in the conversation where she directed her attention to me. She started screaming at me and started approaching me really swiftly, screaming. And I thought she was going to come.
What was she screaming?
I don't know exactly what. She was trying to ask me a question or she was trying to get my attention or something. And she came very quickly and I told her to get out of my face twice.
Not what you said.
I said, get out of my face twice. And on that second one, she was
Don't
like
speak.
coming at me and I hit her and it was a lot of contact.
There was no repeated punching. It was, I think, one single punch.
Were you admitted to the hospital?
I was, yes.
I'd like to see the full hospital report.
From the night of the
Oh,
incident?
yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes, that's all I'm interested in.
I also have an aftercare summary from the Portland emergency
No,
room where I went to the next day as well.
I don't care
You
about
just
that.
want the Tillamook one? Okay.
I want that one.
I believe that's all of it.
I'm looking for the doctor's write-up on you.
The one in Portland where I live,
Madam, I don't care what happened the next day when you were sober. I want to know what the emergency room doctor, how they describe your situation when you arrived. Were you sober? Were you drunk? Were you coherent? Were you incoherent? The next day doesn't help me. Intoxication. And then you have an orbital flood fracture and ecchymosis of the left eye. Okay, getting back to the police report. Whitney stated they came back from the bar and were knocking on the door of the neighbor's house trying to get her to come back to the house. Whitney stated all she remembers was them beating her up. Whitney mentioned she felt like she was ganged up on. Whitney mentioned she doesn't know exactly what happened, but they got into a fight. I was able to take photographs of the scratches on Whitney's neck, arm, and black eye. Whitney mentioned that she didn't want to press charges because she didn't want to ruin Lily's life. You remember? I can't even say, do you remember saying that to the police? Because you don't remember.
I
It
also
says
had
I
been-
don't remember 5 times.
I had been struck in the face so many times. I had fainted, actually. So I was checked at the emergency room. I had a CT scan because they felt I might have had a concussion.
Can I
and
ask you
or
a question?
Brain bleed.
Do you-
Yes.
if you remember speaking to the police, do you remember telling them that you pulled somebody's hair out of their head?
I do, yes.
Okay. And was that before or after you got punched?
I believe that would have been during trying to get them off of.
No.
No, I was saying while she was punching me, I believe I was pulling their hair to defend myself.
Whose hair was pulled?
All of ours.
No, I have a photo of my hair was pulled.
She was pulling all of our hair, and this is the amount of hair that was swept off the floor.
Anybody want to tell me anything else? I don't have to see the rest of your medical records.
Would you like to see the photos of my many scratches, marks,
Sure.
my eye?
Sure, I'll take a look at them.
Thank you. And if I could mention, she stated she punched me once. That does not look like one punch unless she's the Hulk.
Well, these aren't punches. These are when you're rolling around the ground.
I believe
when
I
you're
was also
fighting.
kicked
Yeah.
repeatedly.
Terrible. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around 5 young, productive, clearly educated women getting so loaded that there was a brawl. But Whitney, it's clear that you were the most loaded of all.
I could have been.
I mean, you have a super responsible job.
Mm-hmm.
You flee a house drunk and go to a stranger's house where there are 3 men and 1 woman. Crazy. Your friends clearly were concerned enough about you. They could have said, listen, let her go stay there. If she gets raped, that's her problem. If she gets beat up, if she gets murdered, they tried to get you to come back. I believe for your own safety and nothing else.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
And you were still severely under the influence of alcohol. And there is no question in my mind that you got the worst of this fight. Mm-hmm. They may not have been severely injured, but you precipitated this fight. You just got the worst of it.
I don't believe that gives them permission to strike me multiple times.
Oh, it
until
does,
I
actually.
faint.
Actually, if you precipitate a fight and put your hands on somebody else, grab their hair, they can use whatever outside of a weapon. It can escalate to the next step. You can't go and get a gun and shoot somebody. But your actions precipitated everything that happened that night because you were too loaded.
I disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Judge.
And so what I'm telling you is when you have a fight, a physical fight, no weapons involved, somebody is going to always get a little more hurt than somebody else.
Does that make it right, though?
Does it make it right? No, but it doesn't make it a lawsuit. Your case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you very much.
I don't believe it was right. I was assaulted quite terribly.
I'm really grateful that this is all over with.
I was struck multiple times until I fainted.
It's shocking to hear the lies that she's stating about us, but, you know, that obviously the judge saw right through them.
We're not friends anymore. Never again. I will never allow those women into my life, especially my sister.
I just wanted to be able to speak to the truth of what happened.
Yeah, no, friends and tequila do not mix.
Don't have a reason, I think, to ever talk.
Man, this wasn't a girl's trip. This was emotional chaos mixed with alcohol. And the scariest part? These weren't reckless teenagers. These were grown women in their 30s with careers, responsibilities, and children. One manages over 100 employees. One manages a medical office. One is raising 4 kids. And somehow, all common sense disappeared after a bottle of tequila. That's insane. The whole case basically proves one thing. Alcohol doesn't create problems. It exposes problems that were already hiding underneath. Because nobody suddenly starts screaming, "You're fake friends. You're bad moms. You're pathetic." Out of nowhere, that anger was already there. The alcohol just removed the filter. And honestly, Whitney's own story exposed how out of control she was that night. Think about this carefully. You're drunk. You fight with your friends. Then, instead of leaving safely, you go next door into a random Airbnb with 3 unknown men you literally met hours earlier. That is unbelievably dangerous. Judge Judy immediately caught that, because normal sober thinking was completely gone, and then the situation somehow gets even worse. Now, people online will say, they should have left her alone. But honestly, if your drunk female friend disappears into a stranger's house near midnight with random men, you probably would go get her too. That part actually makes sense. But once Whitney came back, everything exploded again. And this is where the case completely fell apart for her legally. Because even she admitted hair pulling happened. She grabbed people. She fought back. She was extremely intoxicated. That destroyed the lawsuit. And Judge Judy basically said, you started the chaos. You just got the worst injuries. That's the brutal reality. Because the photos were bad. Black eye, swelling, scratches everywhere, orbital fracture. She clearly got beaten badly. But court isn't about who looks more injured. Court is about who escalated it, who initiated physical aggression, who caused the fight to spiral. And once multiple drunk people start physically fighting, everything becomes messy. That's why Judge Judy kept saying, this isn't a lawsuit, this is a drunken brawl. And honestly, she was right. The most embarrassing part of this whole case, these women were old enough to know better. This wasn't high school. This wasn't college spring break. These are adults with careers acting like reality TV chaos characters over tequila shots and hurt feelings. And let's be honest, if your vacation ends with police reports, unconsciousness, ambulance rides, strangers hiding you in their Airbnb, and permanent friendship destruction, that was never a healthy friend group to begin with. Tequila just exposed it faster. And another thing, the second somebody says, let's go take more shots, after already being drunk in a hot tub, the night is over. Go to sleep, drink water, order food, watch Netflix, survive the weekend. Because nothing intelligent ever happens after. One more tequila shot, nothing. If you enjoyed this savage courtroom breakdown and want more ultra-realistic reactions like this, support the channel, subscribe, and drop the next case you want covered.